Hello, I'm Robin Gibson, and this is the Harvard House Money Morsel. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us again. Don't forget to like and subscribe and click the bell so you get a notification of when releasing a new video. I'm sitting today with Michael Porter, who has nailed his colors to the mast, although we're not allowed to talk about that because apparently when we do, we lose.
So it's Black Friday, but
yeah.
that's all we're going to say about that.
That's all we're going to say about that. So, Michael, it would appear that America has shut down. There's a big argument between the Republicans and the Democrats over the budget. They've shut the government down. Tell us how that works and why, and
Robin, this whole debt ceiling thing, I suppose it's an idiosyncrasy of the American system where they sort of have this debt ceiling, and then if they don't pass spending bills, they essentially can't issue any more debt, and the government shuts down. I mean, it doesn't shut down completely. Essential workers continue, so everybody gets furloughed, which basically means you kind of go on holiday, and you should get essentially back pay when everything gets up and running and the bills get passed again. But I think for me it just highlights how polarized everything is becoming in the world. I mean, even if it doesn't really matter what you watch. I mean, if you watched the Ryder Cup last weekend, my son is quite into golf, and we were watching the Ryder Cup. The crowd is so polarized. You either for something or you're against something, and I think this is just manifesting itself everywhere. So in American politics, I mean, the Democrats and the Republicans have probably never been further apart, and each threatening each other. And so, yes, ordinary things get caught in the middle. Probably the biggest implication for markets, Robin, is that stats aren't being released. So today we should have the unemployment data in the US. We should have inflation next week. And if these stats aren't released, then it makes the Federal Reserve's job a lot more difficult, because now you suddenly, so you're not... you're doing policy in the dark. I mean, it's not that 1 month is going to make the world of difference, but it does sort of highlight trends, and you want up-to-date data to make those decisions. So that's probably one of the bigger implications for markets, is just really not knowing some of the timely indicators. And yes, just that continual undermining of confidence. Can America be trusted? Is it a safe place to invest? Is it a reliable place to invest? So the gold price is close to $3,900 an ounce. The dollar actually hasn't weakened a huge amount. It's been relatively stable for the last sort of quarter. But the rand continues to strengthen on the back of improving terms of trade. So I mean, I think that's where it sort of manifests. I don't think the shutdown per se is the biggest deal. I'm sure in the next week or two they'll get to something. But I mean, because things are so polarized, I suppose there is the opportunity that this thing drags on, because no side's willing to give way.
It's become a huge battle, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So, Michael, I mean, bringing it across to South Africa, I mean, we're starting to see this 3% inflation target become a lot more, baked into the idea. There's a lot more talking about it. And that is really being helped. I mean, a strong rand, a strong gold price is probably blowing wind in the sail of that of that idea, isn't it?
Well, Robin, some data was released yesterday that foreigners bought, I'm going to get my number wrong here, I think it was 77 billion rands worth of South African bonds in September. Now that's a huge amount, and South African bonds, foreigners have sold South African bonds probably for the last 6 or 7 years, and that, at the peak, I think they own 49% of all our bonds. Now they own 25%. So you can just see how they've withdrawn from the market. That seems to be turning, and South African bonds have been really good investments. Foreigners are back. I think it's driven by this inflation targeting, and if you're going to have a whole structural change in interest rates, it's really good news for equities. It's really good news for property. It's really good news for bonds. So there's only good news about it. The only negative is that we might have slightly higher short-term interest rates to try and anchor that. But I mean, if the rand is getting stronger because of some global events, the gold price, I mean, that just works to our advantage, and we can use this opportunity to push it through. Even yesterday, Robin, we had new vehicle sales coming out. This was the highest number of new vehicle sales we sold in a month in 10 years. So I mean, the composition of that number's changed. It's more Chinese cars and less Mercedes and BMWs and things.
Yes.
But the fact is we are selling cars. So it might be cheaper cars, but we've said for the last couple of weeks, I think that there is a recovery happening in our economy. It's shallow. It could be stronger. I mean, we always wish it could be more. And Billy's article in Intuition that comes out this morning, or came out on Friday, sort of highlights this point, but in some ways, at least we are moving in the right direction. Of course, we would like it to be stronger.
And Michael, just one other thing that kind of is a green shoot and something that is potentially positive from a South African scenario is corporates are borrowing some money, aren't they?
Yeah, so credit demand is rising, Robin. It's led by corporates, but if you're having new vehicle sales coming through, and the amount of money that's being lent, because credit sales are broken down by category, so the mortgages is ticking up, leasing installments, which is new vehicles, is ticking up, but corporates is the big one. They're driving it, and corporates are borrowing money, which is a good sign. I mean, you don't borrow money if you're not investing, or you're not upgrading, or you're doing whatever you're doing. So yes, despite all the challenges, Robin, and around the world, I think for us, from a South African point of view, things are getting incrementally better as opposed to incrementally worse. So it's not to say that we're where we want to be, but at least we are moving forward as opposed to moving backwards at the moment.
Yeah. Well, as you were saying, that the expression that came to mind was, "There's life in the old dog yet."
Yes. Yeah. No. Exactly. Definitely.
Absolutely. Awesome, Michael. Well, let's hope your colours bring home the trophy. Thanks for giving us that insight. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.